warm air is finally starting to creep in. We see a little bit of that mustard starting to bloom in the fields in Napa Valley. And with that comes people finally emerging out of their houses and hopefully into my home today, which is why I've invited you into my home to see what's going on. I have a few friends coming over, some great girlfriends. We're gonna enjoy a little smattering of foods that are brunchy, easy, and delicious. And of course, I had to have a little wine. One of my favorite labels just came out with a brand new bottling of Sauvignon Blanc. I thought it was the perfect opportunity to enjoy that with what we're gonna be having today. So we're gonna talk a little bit about Sauvignon Blanc. We're gonna talk about this one in particular, and we're gonna talk about what this wine tends to pair with, because I think it goes with a lot more food than people realize. This is Photograph Sauvignon Blanc. This is a brand new release coming from California. Now, Sauvignon Blanc has a grape. It has a lot of different personalities, but one thing that it will always have is lots of citrus. And in this glass, we're gonna have lots of that mandarin, lemon, a little bit of tropical. And depending on where it comes from, you can have more in the tropical camp, or you could have more in the mineral camp, you could have more in the lemon camp. But what I really like about this one in particular, and Sauvignon Blancs from California, is that you get sort of a combination of all three. When you think about Sauvignon Blanc, what I want you to think about are a couple of things. One is green. Anything green tends to fit in the realm of Sauvignon Blanc when it comes to food. So your salads, your cucumbers, avocados, anything that's fresh and in season, because Sauvignon Blanc really is spring's grape. As those vegetables, as that produce starts to come into play, we've got our peas coming in, we've got asparagus coming in, we've got all that great stuff. That's what Sauvignon Blanc tends to pair with. So of course, salad was a natural choice, and we'll sprinkle a little cucumber over there, have a little green goddess dressing, and that'll keep things really fresh. Now, the other thing to consider when you're talking about Sauvignon Blanc is acidity. Sauvignon Blanc is always gonna have really nice, bright acidity. So that freshness that keeps everything lifted, everything bright, almost like you squeezed a little lemon in there. When it comes to acidity and wine, you want your foods to match the acidity level. That's kind of the goal. And one of the other foods that has a lot of acidity that I think a lot of people don't realize is cheese. Sauvignon Blanc and cheese, one of life's great pairings. So I've assembled this great little cheese board here. Ideally, when we're talking about cheese, we're talking about something a little bit more fresh. So fresh goat cheese, spreadable cheeses, things like that. And so I have a lot of different things on the cheese side that are gonna pair. And then I've sprinkled in some fruits that also are gonna highlight what's in the glass. So a little kiwi, like the tropical, mandarin, a little bit more of that citrus. And I've got some pistachios in there as well, just to give a little bit of texture. And then finally, to round everything out, just so we're not just eating salad and a couple of slices of cheese, I thought maybe this over here would help to add a little bit more nourishment in terms of satisfying our tummies. In the winter time, if you come over my house, I'll make these smashed potatoes. You just boil them, you smash them, you throw them in the oven. It's super easy. And then I'll usually add a little creme fraiche, and if we're feeling ultra fancy, a little caviar. But being that we've got this Sauvignon Blanc and we've got this springtime theme upon us, I decided to switch it out a little bit. And I'm sure you've seen this before, right? I grabbed this at Target, which is where I got the wine. I'm sure you've seen this before, the Alouette or a spreadable herb cheese. This is so great on top of here. It'll melt a little bit, just like creme fraiche or sour cream would melt. And then it pairs beautifully with the Sauvignon Blanc. So you get all that great freshness from the herbs, but then the acidity from that cheese really kind of balances. They match each other in a way. If you didn't want to do the potato, if you didn't want to go through the whole song and dance of roasting potatoes and doing the whole thing, because it does take about an hour to do, you could keep it super simple. Do a little cucumber sliced with a little cheese on top. What I love is I'm getting all across the spectrum of what we'd expect from Sauvignon Blanc from all over the world. So I'm getting your tropical, I'm getting your citrus, and I'm getting a little bit of that minerality as well. But I love that they're working really well together, sort of in harmony. So not one particular thing is standing out over the other. And then the other thing that I love, because it's so pairable from a flavor standpoint, is the texture. So I'm getting a little bit of that richness, a little tiny bit of unctuousness, not a lot. It's still really bright, it's really crisp, but you get a little bit more of that richness, which I love for a springtime white. I love to not quite move into your summery, crispy, bright, angular whites. I love to have just a little texture as we sort of make that gentle evolution out of the cooler months into the warmer months. I think the other thing that I would be remiss to not talk about is price point on this wine. So this is coming in at $12.99, and the quality of the fruit and the places this fruit is coming from is unbelievable. I mean, where it's coming from, you don't normally see wines at this price. So the Sauvignon Blanc is actually coming from two places, Napa Valley and Sonoma, and both are very different in terms of what kind of Sauvignon Blanc that they put out, that they produce. So I think that's part and parcel for what we're getting in terms of all the different flavor profiles, with Napa sort of lending itself to more of that tropical, that more of that kiwi, more of that pineapple thing that sometimes creeps in, and then Sonoma keeping it a little bit more restrained, pulling it back a little bit, leaning more into the citrus side of things in terms of lemon and lemon zest and more of your mandarin. So I love that they're combining both of those places, and I love the fact that you're getting it at a $12.99 price point. I am so excited that they finally come out with a Sauvignon Blanc to complement the already stellar portfolio that I have been enjoying from. So they have the Chardonnay, they have the Pinot, they have the Cabernet, and now the Sauvignon Blanc feels like the ultimate way to celebrate spring. And do you think that was intentional that they put that mustard on there? I mean, I did say Sauvignon Blanc was spring's grape, right? Cheers to spring, everyone. I'll see you soon for Easter. It's just around the corner, and I hope you're enjoying hopefully some warmer weather and some delicious wine. Cheers.